Thank you guys for being here. So let me give you a proper introduction here. So on DC Music Rocks, we're shining a spotlight on the great songs, artists, and incredible people behind the DC region's music scene. Brave Like Us is an indie duo recommended if you like The Head and the Heart, Of Monsters and Men, or Florence and the Machine. Their highly sought-after bassist, Jay Brazao, is a self-taught musician and songwriter. He writes entrancing melodies on the bass as if it were an extension of himself. He's a former member of Rome in a Day. Jay is a Massachusetts native, now residing in the DC area. And then there's singer-songwriter Laura Farrell, who has a unique and powerful voice. Her vocals have been compared to Sarah McLachlan or Joan Jett. She's also classically trained on the violin. And Laura is a former member of the Yard Slippers, Big Honey, and Rave Parade. So together, those two make Brave Like Us, and I've been following these guys for, God, over a year, since this EP came out, whenever that was. But, oh man, it's one of those, I discovered Laura first. And then after Laura, it was like, wait, Laura's a part of a band. And that's how I found Brave Like Us, and that's how I started following you guys, and I've been such a fan for a while. So it makes me really excited that, one, there's a new album coming out, and two, thank you for being here. This is really cool.
Thank you for having us, really. What you do for the DC music community is so important and so incredible.
Yeah,
very much. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us on and supporting all of us warriors. You're a fellow warrior too. We're all warriors, right?
I mean, I can relate, but at the same time, you got to be brave like us, right?
That's
you got to
right.
do it. You got to do it. Oh, I love it, guys. All right, so now reintroduce yourselves then and what you play in the band.
Okay, so my name is Laura Farrell, and I am the lead vocalist, rhythm guitar, and the violin on occasion. I'll get in there to do some of that.
Nice.
And my name is Jay Brazao. I play the bass and a little bit of percussion, and together, Laura and I, we write all these songs. We work on lyrics together, we work on melodies and music, and we just get it done.
So everything we heard was just the two of you, basically. Layering
and a little
on
studio magic.
Well, of course, but yeah, layering it on.
And,
wow. And what's the story behind the name? Brave Like Us. Where does that come from?
So we started out, for some reason, with the color blue, and we royal blue came up. Jay was with the royal we were talking about.
It got funny. We chased down some ideas, and we were circling this idea, and then it's just random that blue became an acronym.
BLU is what we thought. Maybe we could just be the acronym BLUE.
And Laura was like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Brave Like Us.
And
we
I
both
was like,
looked at each
yes.
other and high-fived. And the rest is history.
So we dropped the blue acronym,
yeah.
and it became Brave Like Us. Oh my God,
it's still blue, like on our calendar, it's blue
calendar,
stuff. Yeah,
right?
It's the blue. Oh my God, secrets you find out on DC Music Rocks. That is awesome.
I want it to be a cooler story,
No, that's kind of an awesome story. What are you talking about? It's fascinating.
I was climbing this mountain, and all of a sudden, this eagle came and handed me a note.
You know what? You can make that story whatever you want. So for all we know, maybe that whole thing was made up right now. But regardless,
we can edit this,
I still really like that story. That's awesome, guys. Now, what part of the DC region are you guys connected to? What's home?
So we live in Silver Spring, and so, there's some local stuff around there. We end up playing a lot kind of in the Virginia area, Northern Virginia, out that way.
Nice.
We did some stuff on the mall last year, the Somerset DC series.
Yeah, so you play all over, and home is the
over.
Northeast DC, Silver Spring, just in Maryland, that kind of thing.
But I used to live in, I've lived in Adams Morgan.
Right.
I lived in Columbia Heights for a few years. I mean, downtown is such a vibrant area. And then as I get older, I find that I like a little bit more quiet. So Silver Spring is a good balance for us.
It means he likes a parking space.
Yeah.
Oh, let's be real, guys. There is something to be said for pulling up your car and not having to look for where you're going to put it.
How about a car full of musical
gear? That's even true, man. Anybody who's musician, or if they're listening, who have hobbies that require all the equipment. I mean, golf, whatever it is that you have a ton of equipment that you've got to bring in. Oh man, there's something about parking. Yeah. It's true. So that is the advantage to the burbs, is that for sure. Now, what about your tell both of you guys, talk about your earliest memory with music.
Oh, mine's horrible. I was like in the.
This is exactly how you should not introduce what you're going to say.
No,
this is like, okay, hey, listen, this is awful. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm going to fast forward. No, okay.
I was asked to sing a lead vocal in a choir in school. I was in like 5th grade, and I was like, sure, I don't think about the future or anything, you know, and I did a terrible job, and everyone laughed, and it was like this traumatic thing for me, and I had crippling stage fright, and that's why I'm a musician now, because the only way to get over something is to just do it over and over again until it doesn't scare you.
This is true.
I mean,
I
the first 300 shows, it was
that's
like
it. Oh, it's awful.
nervous,
Yeah.
you know, and I still
Absolutely.
get nervous, but it's a different kind of nervous. It's more like, you know, are we gonna do this? It's a team nervous, you know. I'm nervous for the team,
Yeah.
you know.
Ah, that's it. Laura, what about you?
So mine is less terrifying. I actually didn't make it into chorus when I was in 5th grade. I got cut. So
Really?
I did. I was so
And yet you're a
terrified.
singer.
And
I'm
a
so
singer.
impressed
It's
right
so
now.
stressful. Never give up. You know, just
You're a
keep
singer?
going. I'm actually a singer. Growing up, my dad always listened to classical music on, well, a lot, but mostly I remember on the weekends. So we'd wake up and there'd be like the smell of breakfast and classical music just like playing everywhere. And it just was this, kind of created this
Breakfast.
moment, this like a really great moment. So that's one of my like biggest memories.
Breakfast and
Right.
classical music.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
it is. How old were you? Where was that?
So I grew up in Frederick, Maryland. We lived kind of in the middle of nowhere at the time, in the woods, and gosh, I mean, I was probably 8.
Yeah.
I feel like everything
Yeah.
happened when I was 8 years old.
I think when I was
It
Eight,
was a busy
8
year.
and
Busy
on,
year.
yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
That's the really vivid memory.
Yeah.
Starting around that time.
Yeah.
Elementary school. It
Right.
starts there. Now, how did you guys get linked up?
So we actually used to play in a band together, but not at the same time. So I was
Oh.
the original bass player for a cover band called Rave Parade, who was a band that came from the ashes of Flow in the Dark, which was another band, a great band, hip hop party cover band.
Nice.
And I was in the band for a few months and ended up leaving. And Laura ended up being like their 4th or 5th singer. So it was like a revolving door. You know those kind of bands.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's hard.
And
It's
they
hard.
live on, but cover bands can really do that too,
Right.
because it's not about their art, because
Right.
the art is already determined by everybody else. So the cover band, it's really just, can you produce the sounds? And so, yeah, it works better that way.
So
Yeah,
So it was a revolving door, so then how did it
revolving
overlap?
door. Right, so I came into the band, I guess soon after he had left, and then I played with another group called the Right-Handed Lefties, because we were all left-handed and play our instruments right-handed, as Jay and I both do as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So a mutual friend of ours introduced us at IOTA, of all places, and we were looking for a bass player, and he said, I know a bass player, this guy Jay, and he brought him over, and there he was, and I was like, oh, you're the guy our other buddy had talked about, and he, you know, it's like I heard about him, and then there he was right in front of me, and he was left-handed, and I was like,
it was
you're in, get in
serendipitous,
here.
but no,
This is it.
Yeah.
It's destined.
Yeah.
It's destiny right here.
I had just spent a year up in Boston, and I returned back to the DC area, and it was like I'd been back for about a week, and I was at IOTA checking out a friend's band. He was playing
I was
drums,
playing that
and you were
night.
playing in she was playing in a Cranberries tribute band, and
Yeah.
my buddy Johnny Rocker was playing in a Green Day tribute band, and he knew, and through Johnny Rocker he introduced us, and the rest is history.
There it is. Wow. And so that's where Brave Like Us was born.
That's right, yep.
And so originally you were looking for a third member, but you decided, no, you know what? Let's just do this ourselves.
Yeah, we played with the Right-Handed Lefties for a good bit. They're still kicking around. David Thong,
Mm-hmm.
props to this guy, and
Yes, yes.
Alan Day on the drums.
Yep.
They're good dudes, those guys, good friends of ours.
We find that the duo, it's like, you know, how many cooks can you have in a kitchen? So I've been in bands where
Oh,
4 or 5
true.
people we're all standing in a room, and I just felt like for the two of us to get it done, we're very productive when it comes time to write songs. And we work really well together, and I'm the crazy guy, like I said, and she reels me in, and she's like, what else could we do here? And, you know, so it's great. We work well together, and
That's awesome. Very good. Now, what about you guys on the personal side? So outside of this music thing, what are the hobbies? What's life like?
Well, for me, so I'm an artist as well, and I run a decorative painting company.
Really?
yeah.
What does decorative painting company
Decorative
mean?
painting, so it's like faux finishing, technically.
Okay.
We do murals and fine art and make, you know, something that isn't stone look like it is stone, that kind of thing.
Wow. And you know, it's
Yeah.
impressive because oftentimes people do music or visual art,
Right.
but it's rare to have somebody do both. So props to you, Laura.
Thank
That's,
you.
wow. Okay. Very good. Jay, what about you, man?
So I am a big music fan. I love music just as much as you, Brian. I'd like to actually start helping out the community a little bit more, and I actually got the LLC set up for my new independent record label.
Look at you! All right.
It's gonna take a little time to get it up, all the legal stuff, but I think Brave Like Us might have a record deal coming to them soon.
Oh, there we
Whatever
go.
that means,
In-house.
but we'll be like the guinea pigs, and then hopefully, maybe I can do some good around here, but maybe promote some festivals or maybe be a sponsor for DC Music Rocks, that kind of stuff.
Let's talk. There's all kinds of stuff coming
We'll see how
out.
it goes today, we'll see.
I like where your head's at. I don't know if you're just schmoozing me, and even if you are, flattery will get you everywhere. So I love it. There it is. I'm already more excited about that label than you are. So your mission is successful here. This is good. Oh God, I love it. Now talk about funniest moment that comes to mind when performing.
But when performing,
Oh, so that changes everything.
it does, because we had a moment, but we were like, we can't
Well,
talk about that.
okay, then don't tease us. All right, then what's the funniest moment? Tell us that one then. Now I kind of want
I
to
know,
know.
isn't it's
I think one time we were playing a show. I don't want to give too much of the details, but sometimes you get invited to play something and it seems very legit, and then you get there
Oh,
and
that
then you
was-
realize
Oh.
instantly that it is, what's the word, opposite of legit. But
Okay.
you play it anyway,
Illegitimate.
and you do your job, and you take something from it,
Okay.
and so.
So wait, how was it not like more details? Tell me more on what you thought was legit, and then what did it end up being? Say more. On
It ended up being, all right, so we had to fill out our whole backline sheet, like what do you need from us sound
Okay.
wise, and we're like,
Sure.
yeah, this is super legit because we have everything that you need if you're a sound guy,
that. Right.
and then we show up and we find out there is no sound guy, and there's some dude shows up with like a trailer and dumps 2 PA speakers on a stage and a mixer and says, have a good show.
Oh
And
my
You
God.
realize you're your own sound
you're
guy.
on your own.
And you don't have anything to run. Like we had
Oh.
what we needed, but no XLR, so we had to just rig everything together. It was
Hilarious.
it was
hilarious.
That's funny. Oh my God. What a crazy experience that must have been. Holy smokes. Now, what about on the opposite of that, biggest success moment that comes to mind?
I mean, finishing this album really is a big one, I think, for both of us. It's for me, it's the best my music has ever felt. It's kind of like, pushing it one step further. And certainly these guys, when we get in the studio, they push me vocally just where to play. Even on the violin, they really pull stuff out of me that I just didn't know I could do.
And
So.
the they she refers to is me and our co-producer Scott Ensign. He's a great guy. He's a bass
Great
player.
guy.
Shout out to Scott.
Yeah.
We gotta
Awesome.
give our co-producer a little
Yeah.
shout out.
Oh man.
But the three we just get it done. We go in the studio and now after doing this first album, we can't wait to do the next one. And that's what it's about,
That's
right?
it. That's it. And my favorite question to ask is, if you could offer one piece of advice, what would it be?
Man, follow your dreams, never give up, and keep your head down. Not everything, is what it seems, and sometimes you might play a show, like I said, where you think it's going to be legit and it's not, and you might get a phone call, hey, I saw you at that show that, that wasn't so legit. Everything leads to the other thing, and, don't knock something until you try it, that kind of thing, and, just follow your heart and be brave enough to be yourself.
That's it. Laura,
That's
what
it.
about
I
you?
would second that for sure. I mean, it's definitely about taking every opportunity that you have, that's presented to you. You do have to kind of say no sometimes, but for the most part, say yes. Say yes to everything. Even like if you're afraid, definitely say yes. That's what'll push you.
Absolutely. God, when you're getting started, that's one of those things I
Yeah.
wish I could. If you've ever seen the movie Yes Man by Jim Carrey,
Oh.
that's one of those. I wish for musicians getting started, like until you have so much on your calendar that you can't possibly do anything else. If you want to do music, you have to become a yes man and just freaking say yes,
Yeah.
like everything. Just go. Are you available? Then go. And some of it's gonna suck, and some of it might not be legit. But whatever. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Nice words, guys. I dig it. Now, if they want to find out more about you and find out when the album's coming out and all the stuff that's happening with Brave Like Us, where do they go?
Well, we've attempted to cover all the social media sites. Biggest one would be Facebook.
Is that still a thing?
It's still a thing,
Right.
from what I hear. We're on Facebook, Brave Like Us Music. Also, bravelikeusmusic.com. Let's see, we're on Twitter now officially at
Ooh.
Be Brave.
Be brave like us.
Be Brave Like Us.
Okay.
Instagram, Brave Like Us. Am I missing one? YouTube.
Probably.
We do have a YouTube channel out there with some videos that we've made ourselves that we're pretty proud of.
And I'm assuming, so bravelikeus.com,
BraveLikeUsMusic.com.
bravelikeusmusic.com, and that also links to all that stuff too.
It does, in fact.
So
yeah.
whatever your platform is, they're on there.
That's right.
Look them up.
They'll all go together, yeah.
Brave Like Us. I love it. Wow.